do not know what happened there. I was up $150, moved my stop loss up. It didn't go.
Very, very low. They have a very good basis. They tend not to want to talk about it, but I'm just saying, Guru, if
And
I
now
get
it
one
might turn.
clearly, they don't need to go
Well,
buy
that was
that.
not
You just
fun
say
to
Nvidia's on sale.
lose
I've done my job,
$25 when I thought I
my
had a
job as
guaranteed
I
150
manage
winner.
money.
Forgot to
My
turn the
job is to
recording
focus
on.
on first, do no harm for people who are watching, and you don't need to participate in these when you've got unbelievable stocks that are down huge. Why do you need to be in a SPAC? I mean, what a great
Still
opportunity.
8
Go
ticks.
buy I don't necessarily want to buy Workday because the quarter wasn't nearly
There's
as
a
bad as
long
people
time
said.
for it to
But what
just
an
climb,
opportunity to
climb,
go buy a stock
climb. So
like a Walmart, which I think is able to do what it wants to and is willing to say to the president, hey, we're going to do what we think.
I
Disney
was here
broke
for
another new.
this.
How about Disney? Disney's up
I
really,
was
really
busy
big.
doing
But
something
you know
else.
what? Disney deserves it because the numbers were better.
This is
That's
just
a fair
FOMO
trade
territory
in
to
your
the
investment
hilt.
than a SPAC that is not really able necessarily to handle this
So Disney's
environment.
already had a great run, as you can see, in 1 month.
But it's been
Almost
I wish I
25%
recorded that. I
increase.
must have not
And guess what?
released.
It was after earnings. It was particularly in
I
light of the
swear I took
reaction
it
to
up
the
there and let it go, but it didn't
subscriber additions
catch.
at Disney
right.
Plus direct to
Did
consumer, and
money they made
what's
strong.
and it's a real ramp in terms of EBITDA from that unit, and the expectation that will continue.
Right.
And then maybe some enthusiasm around the announcement of the new park and a few other things. By the way, big box office weekend. I mean, I'm not sure how that much that really matters these days. In some ways, it's more about, well, how will it support the streaming service once it gets there. But I guess their Lilo Stitch is going to be.
The weather's going to be bad. When are you
I
checking
don't
it
know.
out?
I would go see Mission Impossible, the final reckoning
I think so
for
too.
Tom Cruise.
I
Can't
think
you
so
know?
too.
Come on, got to see Cruise.
I liked Alan and Richard more than Cruz and Reacher. It's more realistic. Reacher's good. How about
Cruise
all
is
the
more
shows you
realistic,
watch that
Richard.
are no longer
Just
Netflix
took
and
off
therefore
without me.
during the great Netflix run? How many of our shows? You ever television? I talk about Severance to you.
Yes, you do. That's Apple.
How
That's
was
Apple. Yeah, I did watch some stuff. I watched that Yellowstone. I liked Yellowstone when I went there with my kids. It
That's
was really good.
Paramount. Taylor Sheridan is
Well, I
basically
mentioned.
all of Paramount. That's,
Yeah, I went to his
if they
state.
were to lose Taylor Sheridan, then
why
that's
is there no
basically it.
stop
Well, that's
there?
because of Taylor Swift. I mean, it's
Yes,
not going to happen.
can't lose the Taylors.
Right.
Damn it all.
Okay, now here's something weird. I'm looking at what's up. McDonald's, okay? So how's McDonald's
Alright, you've had
intersect
enough of playing with
with the
that.
tariffs? Could
I gotta play
Airbnb say,
that
listen,
back and see
we're
what
going to put a
happened.
tax on the hamburger?
No, they're all local. Probably a lot of them are franchised.
Well, that's my point. I'm
Why
saying
was
that
there
you
no
don't give
stop?
up the ship. Oh, Jesus, the ship. No, I think that you just, I'm looking at
No, there
instances to
was a
try to
stop.
figure out whether some people are panicking or not.
I'm gonna play
Listen,
it
none
back
of
and
it's
see what
really
happened.
panicking in Apple. I mean, it is down 2.6%, but it's not that much worse than Meta's 1.5% decline or Amazon's 1.6%
Man,
decline.
have I ever missed out on a
And
beauty
it's
this morning.
Washington. I will tell you that I think you're getting too much right now for Apple. It's a long. I found out. See, it's 9:34. That makes it a long day.
Meantime, Bessent is on the tape. Does say most countries are negotiating in good faith, except for the EU. He has said the EU has a collective action problem. Says things are moving along nicely with India, and he hopes this
No,
lights a
don't do
fire
that,
under the
because
Oval.
This deal with India
that could
allows
reverse in a
a
hurry and
break
just
on,
take
say,
you the
phones
frick
that are
out.
imported from India. That's because it.
The phones, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I got another one that I would buy. And cue up the tape. I think the red bush on Tesla is right.
You do?
I think this is the time to buy
There
Tesla.
are a couple of
Here.
bullish notes. Why? Dan Ives saying it's all about autonomous, $1 trillion
Don't,
market, huge
don't.
opportunity. What?
There was a guy who went down there, you,
Don't.
and I listened to him.
Yes.
And I said, that guy's got game. And that guy has a technology game. David, I was so impressed by him. Impressed by you.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that.
But I was impressed by him. It was the old Musk, not the Doge. We're gonna close.
Reminded you of the old
I
Musk,
don't know,
yeah.
some mom of the government I never heard of.
Or you have heard of. We're going to get rid of a lot of
Record
people at the
Commission.
CDC or the NSA or, yeah, who knows?
The NIH.
The NIH.
I mean,
Oh, yeah?
really. I lost my
I
mom
think I am.
to really bad form of cancer. I always think that whatever they can do for cancer, I hate to see that. We all have our causes.
By the way, the
I
one
moved
part
it
of the
way out
EU,
like a
to your
fool
point
because they
earlier, that we
chased it.
haven't actually gone over was robots. And a lot of that was
Well, that's okay.
wanting
Get up
discuss
there.
that with Musk
Get up
because
there.
there are many conversations here. By the way, it even
Accept the
gets into
smaller
what
loss.
we're talking about with Apple, which is
There you
they'll
go.
never produce
That
an
was
iPhone in
better.
the United States
And
until
now
hopefully
just
without
stop.
people.
This is too spastic.
Johnny Ive, he's producing them everywhere, right?
Johnny Ive is going to be working with OpenAI
You're
to
negative
let
on
us
the
know
day.
to
Thank you.
Musk's
It's
ambitions
wow, took my
on
30
humanoid
cents.
robots because
About
it's not just autonomous. As
$12.50.
he says, it's not about selling the Model Y, although he continues to say, of course, it's the best-selling automobile in the world, but it's about autonomous
For Trump, for
I
heaven's sake.
really think you
robotics.
should walk away.
He
You
does
missed
see it
a
coming, and perhaps
friggin'
more quickly
beauty.
than others. Take a listen.
I think humanoid robots will be the biggest product ever. The demand will be insatiable.
You said that,
Everyone's
Paul.
going to want one. It's like, basically, who wouldn't want their own personal C-3PO R2-D2?
Well,
everyone's
right.
going to want one.
You've said that, and your goal, you've also said, is to produce 1 million robots. I think by 2030. That's what I had you on the record as
Yeah,
saying.
I think that's a reasonable target.
How much training are they going to need to actually be able to do various different types of tasks? Isn't that
A lot of
going to
training.
take a long time? Yeah.
Yes, it's going to take a lot of compute resources.
Okay, I went short.
It'll take time. I think there's certain threshold breakthroughs that we think we can achieve, where if Optimus can watch videos, YouTube
Might as
videos,
well move
or
down there and take
cartoon
your
videos or
loss.
whatever, and based on that video,
It's showing
just like a
strength.
human can learn how to do that thing, then you really have
Yeah.
tasks
The loss is
extensible
big.
advantage for man. Then it
Get
can
down
do
there.
anything very
Don't
quickly.
fuck around with it.
So I think
Release
we'll
it.
get there over the next
We're not there yet, though.
We're not there yet. There are some advances needed, but I don't think it's insurmountable.
Get down further.
We can
Further.
resolve these things in the next few years.
Okay. Lost
At that time when
$50.
millions of these things are coming off a line like we just saw with cars,
And you'd be in
they're
the
going to
money
be
now.
fully autonomous. They're going to come off, and the way you described it,
In
I'm going to
5
be able to
years,
come in
for
my
sure.
house and I'm going to be able to say, all right, do the dishes. Now I need you to walk the dog.
Absolutely.
That's what Jensen
There's your
wants
biggest
us to do.
problem. It's hesitation.
And the idea that we're all going to have we're going to rent one initially. That's what Jensen's team told me.
Right.
And when I met with the team that makes these for Jensen, and it's very clear that you'll want to have them, say, for a party.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Clean up after a
I don't
party.
think you
Kill
can
your
do a
stop.
discounted cash flow model on it based on how far out it is potentially, but he talks about it again being the largest market by far of any market ever in the history of humanity. That said, I was trying to get at this with him, and he did say, the training is going to
We
take some
stop
time.
way
You
up
can't
there in
get
the
them to just
hundreds of
come off
dollars.
the assembly line even now, and they're able to do things. They have to be trained, and that takes a long time.
But I think that's one of the things that NVIDIA is addressing too, which will make
You
it so there's
can't
more
lose
rapid
money on
training.
the
All
trade
these
now.
every new iteration of chips does things better. Carl, we spend so much time talking about autonomous, but we don't spend enough time talking about what the world will look like in 2030 when it comes to your house, when it comes to your life. And I know that Jensen, we were used to a little robot get you coffee. Now we're talking about the robot telling
Lock
you
in
what
some
it
money.
sees, what it does, conversations. I tried to have a conversation with Lex yesterday about Beethoven's Symphony No. 6. She's like an idiot. She knows that she has the
8750.
past
It
force to
doesn't
mispronounce
erase all that
things.
shit.
But when I see the things that these robots can do, well, I gotta tell you, I want one so badly because these are all the things that break up my marriage.
How much are you willing to pay for one?
Been there, so well, that one cost me about 20.
Yeah, I would imagine so. What's actually outpacing or outperforming Tesla year to date and over 6 months is Alphabet, which you've been less concerned about.
I know, and I look, I read that darn Justice Department suit, and then I read the judicial opinion calling him a monopolist, and I got nervous because you can call monopolists, they can take a lot away from you. But they then did a conference this week where they basically laid out a strategy for Gemini.
I'm going to take the $100.
Really, for Gemini and Google search,
And you did.
I have to admit, very bullish.
Up $12.50 for the day with way too many trades. 87.50 you got.
Wow, I was the one who worried about the government. I should not listen
If
to
you
John McCain.
stuck with it for a long time up there,
Not advocates of the government.
Right. It was right. That's right. Forget his sidekick. Forget he is now a CNBC commander.
short it there.
Guys, I want to come back to sort of the president and companies that are
Oh, damn it all.
in some way dependent on his decisions. One of them is U.S. Steel, and I've talked about it a lot. $55 deal from Nippon, of course, agreed to so long ago. including 2 separate CFIUS reviews, the latest of which we did get, at least we've gotten it ended, and the understanding is, yes, it did get approval from all the different
Stops at
people
break
who make
even.
up that body,
And he made
and obviously
1250.
reviewing things for their from a security perspective. Although the recommendations this time,
No, oh, I didn't
and
mean
this
to
is
do that there.
perhaps not quite as definitive as they
My
were
finger hit
last
it by
time, and it seemed
mistake.
like Gina Raimondo was sort of one of the holdouts. A slim majority saying yes with conditions, but none of that really matters. And why the stock is up is because ultimately this will be the decision made by the president. He's taken that right. And yesterday there was a meeting with representatives from some of the states where U.S. Steel has operations. Pennsylvania, of course, Senator
You
McCormick
screwed that
was
one
at
up.
the meeting as well. And haven't gotten a full readout from that, but you can clearly see there seems to be a thought that it was positive in terms of them saying to the president, you should approve this because it's going to mean a lot more money. And by the way, Nippon is now stepping up to the tune
That was a
of,
mistake. My
that's
finger
as much
tapped
as $14 billion
the mouse.
over years.
Dominant
It's
steel company.
more than they're spending on the actual company. But Jim, we still don't know because we're waiting on DJT to make a decision.
And there's your short.
With the not so great trade talks.
He would.
He would. He would say, look, you want that deal? Go convince your government to take part.
And a delegation is coming in, and I believe there are talks that are going to be taking place right now and over this weekend.
David, you are the linchpin. That's it.
Yeah.
You want to play? Give us this.
No, it will absolutely be rolled into those
David,
talks.
this is it.
Which is why I mention it, because it is still over $10 below the price if you were to perhaps surprisingly get a deal with Japan that included, hey, Nippon, you can buy this. You know, obviously we want that additional $14 billion in spending you're going to be doing here in the country. But you get a $55 stock like that because they'll close this deal
Literally in a day.
So we'll see.
I'm so glad you brought that up. There's the solution.
The other two I wanted to mention were Fannie and Freddie. Now I'm going to take
You're
a
up
look
275 in the day.
The play has been. By the way, if you thought Donald Trump's going to win the election, you bought
Is
these
that
a
what
long
it
time
says?
ago. The preferreds,
Yeah.
especially on the idea that they're going to take
275.
public again, take them out of this conservatorship that they've been in. Remember,
That
since
trade
the
only
financial
netted you
crisis.
$250.
See Fannie giving up a little
It's
bit.
up
We're looking at 1
$450
week
for a second.
on the move. And by the way, the year is even more incredible because the stock's up over 600%. Now this is the
On
comment. There's still some
19
risk there because
trades.
you never know what the plan's going to be. There's a senior preferred. It's the asset with real value, and you never know. Maybe you end up with some sort of a deal in which they actually say, all right, senior preferred, you get converted into common, which obviously would have very dilutive
Short
effects.
it there.
All that said, once
That
again,
was a good short.
back to the power of this presidency in particular in terms of dictating the future of companies. These are, in this case, it's more traditional because these are under government conservatorship. They wanted to get them out
You're
of the
up
last
400 on the
administration. They
day.
didn't quite get there in terms of their efforts.
Credit the government to raise more money.
And obviously you have Paulson and the
That was a good short.
and a number of other investors who've already done
Should have held in there longer though. You'd be
move
up
just
a
the
more
anticipation
magical
potential
number.
for taking them back into the private world public markets.
Right. Now look at it. This is another. What can I say? There's just things that he wants to win and things that he wants to lose. And I wish that he would look at this way.
But this is your biggest day in a while.
And say, okay, guys, you can get U.S. Steel, but you're going to have to give us 20%, 20%.
Still seeing a steady decline, but
Yeah, well,
these are getting longer.
a lot more than they were under the Biden
But then we come up with
But you missed
Tuesday, and he
the
says,
beauty
"Look,
here, and you truly
I got this
missed the beauty here. You should
I
have
got
stuck
you,
with
man.
this and be deep in the money.
Some state, some country that caves on you."
Now you get enough money to play the game a little wiser. So let's let it come up to here or something and then hit it again. Don't hit it
Well,
there.
actually, UPS right now, 25% blanket tariff. They're looking at a
It's
headwind
almost
of 51
undoubtedly going to
cents
come
today
back
for
up to
UPS
here
shipment.
anyway.
The prior was 34. So 34 to 51 cents.
Well, I mean, we're going to get, like I said, we're going to get to some level where the guys who control things, which for me are Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, say, all right, we're going to open an account and we're going to
I think
use.
it's easier to hit this one.
Because that's what happens. Because it is capitalism when it comes to those companies.
See, you left a lot of money on the table there.
For regular folks.
Well, the differential in price could be more significant, especially if we do have a fairly
0 seconds.
less onerous trade agreement with.
Don't jump in there. That's where you get in trouble. This is where typically comes up and sweeps clean. And is the move losing strength? The candles are getting smaller. Well, maybe not.
In maybe the most important device that America is shipping. We're going to go back to the days when the only thing we made was Coca-Cola.
There's less conviction to it now.
Mr. President, you're going to ensure that happens. That's what he has to say. Because he makes the greatest products in the world, and those products represent the greatness of our country. And he has to come in with that argument. They're the best products in the world.
They are, except most of them are manufactured in China.
Now you're dealing with, you hope it's going to go. It's not showing good signs. It didn't come up here. Actually, it did come to there. But see, that's almost showing signs of flattening, which it didn't do.
Because I remember when I grew up, all we did was make the equivalent of a really good Indiana Jones movie.
Relax that finger.
What? We made movies and we made soda. We made movies and soda. That's what we made.
What do you mean? Really? You didn't make automobiles back then when you were growing up?
Nobody liked ours.
We didn't make the Pinto and the Gremlin.
We made the Camaro.
We made plenty of stuff.
I'm going to try it there.
David, that we were a
Get rid of this.
country in the
It's
70s.
complicating matters on me.
We were having a difficult decade there, a little bit difficult.
You were in your
Might have jumped in early.
Sometimes, yes, certainly.
It's actually true.
I missed those.
Wow, we're down 400 on the Dow. Watch bonds. Actually, yields coming up just a touch from there.
Let's not lose anything.
The 30-year back to 503.
And I made $25.
Although we'll get new homes in about 12 minutes.
See, a lot of money could be made there and there. Now you're getting into a little more difficult territory. So I am going to stop. Only 17 minutes in. But $425. That's fine. $2,900 in the account now. And this is a little bit of a danger zone. So I'm going to stop and take the dogs for a walk and work on the damn book. We're going to see what this is like to listen to on TV later. Hope it's a chick voice.
Part 3. Emotional traps. How to deal with them. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. What triggers your emotions? Let's look at various trading elements that light a fire in your brain. There are so many it's difficult to cover them all. In this chapter 1, we'll discuss some of the many elements preying on your amygdala like a pack of wolves. Carefully examine them. In this chapter 1, we'll discuss some of the many elements preying on your amygdala like a pack of wolves. Carefully examine them and reflect on how they affect you. Make note of them. You'll want to concentrate your attention there as you set up a plan to recognize and manage your personal flashpoints. Here are some common day trading pitfalls which challenge a trader's ability to maintain emotional stability. Watching your P&L. This is one of the most dangerous emotional traps in trading. If you're constantly staring at your P&L during a trade, you're setting yourself up for failure. This behavior leads straight to emotional turmoil. Imagine this. You enter a trade aiming to make $300. As the stock rises, your P&L creeps toward the target, now hovering between $287, $290. You're almost there. But instead of focusing on the chart and price action, you're glued to the P&L number with emotions running high. You haven't placed a proper take-profit order. You're just hoping it hits that magical $300 number you've fallen in love with. Then the stock starts to reverse. Your target was within reach, but you're stuck on that mystical number. You ignore the obvious weakness in the move, and instead of securing a solid $287 gain, you hesitate, stubbornly digging in your heels. Suddenly the stock drops. Perhaps you panic and exit with a small $100 profit, or worse, you freeze completely and let the stop loss hit. Worse yet, you move the stop lower. Why did this happen? It's simple. You just experienced an emotional overload from obsessing over the P&L instead of evaluating the price action. You weren't trading the market. You were trading your own desire for a specific dollar amount. This is a textbook violation of the most critical rule in trading: stick to the process. The process, not arbitrary dollar targets, leads to long-term success. Ignore the process, chase dollar amounts, and you're likely to fail. What is his solution? Remove P&L display. What is the solution? Remove P&L displays from your trading screen. It represents an emotional minefield to avoid at all costs, if you'll pardon the pun. Focus on price action and disciplined execution. The profits will follow. Boredom trading. If you're bored, the urge to just walk away and do something else becomes powerful. Or the fatal urge to just take almost any trade might arise. This is a test of your patience. The market isn't behaving the way you like, so why sit there, just waiting? It might take the entire day if your entry parameters are strict. Nothing is more difficult than the boring endeavor of waiting, especially when it comes to day trading. Sitting on your hands and doing nothing but looking at the trading equivalent of grass growing is an emotional abyss, to say the least. Should you get up and take a break? Mow the lawn? Watch a TV show? Clean the garage? If you do, surely the market will make a move and provide an opportunity upon which you would have capitalized. So, just what do? Do not feel like you must trade every minute or every... What do? Do not feel like you must trade every minute or every day. Learn how to just watch market action. Study it. Learn from it. Live comfortably in this low-stress environment. Markets action. Study it. Learn from it. Live comfortably in this low-stress environment. Just watching with little intention to trade is a great opportunity to practice stress management. It can make a significant difference in your trading psyche. Make yourself comfortable in front of a stock chart. You don't have to make money every time you look at stock movements. Patience, the lack of... I'm not here to tell you how to trade or how to read charts for the best entries and exits. That part is relatively easy once you've spent time reviewing charts and recognizing patterns. Look at the chart below. Some traders wait for this kind of price action. This was a fast and hard move up, followed by a gradual and steady retracement with small... This was a fast and hard move up, followed by a gradual and steady retracement with small wicks. Since this pattern is relatively consistent, a short entry at the top of any of the descending candles offers a relatively safe, hence less stressful, strategy. Again, I'm not telling you how to trade. This is about seeking emotionally stable environments. Wait for them. It's important to note that your emotions are most likely spiking during the rapid rise in price action. Savvy traders recognize this. FOMO rocks your world, and poor decisions are easily made during a rapid climb. Force yourself to relax and deliberately, consciously think about the most likely upcoming opportunity the rapid rise represents. Be prepared for it. Be patient. Above all, settle down. Enter, set reasonable stops, and if the trade starts to work out, take note of your anxiety level. Try to overcome the stress of wanting to exit early to realize a moderate profit. This rewards your primitive brain. Pay attention to this process while it's happening. This is a time to learn and imprint sound trading principles into your psycho-emotional makeup. This is where the men are separated from the boys. This is what you must strive for, to defy fear and build your emotional toolbox. This is your mind's trading evolution. You may have been bored for some time before this pattern developed, but don't let your emotions take control when it starts. Let the stock's rapid climb play out, and with a relaxed mind, plan a strategy which will reduce risk and hence reduce the emotional quicksand. This requires concentrated, disciplined practice. And don't participate in the FOMO phase of the stock's rapid rise. Study candlestick formations. Candlesticks don't appear instantly. They develop Be cautious about entering during the FOMO phase of the stock's rapid rise. Study candlestick formations. Candlesticks don't appear instantly. They develop over a set time frame, whether it's 10 seconds or 5 minutes. I prefer 1-minute candles and am often amazed by how much price movement can happen in that brief time. For example, a 1-minute candle might open at $8. And 27 cents, rise to $9.30, fall to $7.99, and close at $8.29. On the chart, it may just appear as a doji, suggesting little movement, but in reality, it had a $1.31 range. If you had bought near $7.99, you'd be in profit. If you entered near $9.30, you'd be at a loss. The key is in the candle's wicks, which reveal its hidden volatility. Don't let fast candle movements trigger emotional stress. Instead, calmly observe how candles form. This practice will improve your understanding and aid in managing stress while evaluating trades. Remember the chart with the small wicks? The moves are more controlled and deliberate, which is better for your emotional stability. As I have said before, I'm not telling you how to trade, but rather I'm suggesting you study how candlesticks form. Finding peace in just watching their formation leads to reduced stress. Sit back, study these formations, and find an emotional space where you are comfortable evaluating potential entries or exits. Wild price fluctuations lead to wild emotions, and you don't want to go there. Fighting trends. I've fought trends often. It has been regrettable almost every time. Here's how it unfolds. The market is going down across the board, but you, in your infinite wisdom, know better. You think your particular stock is due for a reversal. You jump in long at every retracement. It turns out to be a false breakout, but you're sure it's winding up for a run. Do you hold on? You're in the red, but now it's dropped to an even better price. Stupidly, you buy more. Someone please tell me, where is our trader's brain during this process? The answer is, nobody's home. Emotions have taken control. Number one, you are hoping your now doubled position will take a hard turn to the upside. Really? Your thinking brain doesn't see the overall market trend? Brilliant. Your emotions aren't done with you. Fear, Your emotions aren't done with you. Fear, panic, a questionable confirmation bias, and anger take over. You know the drill. You, the genius, have successfully bucked the trend and tossed your emotional control out the window. The solution is to cut the loss and reconsider your perspective. If the market is falling, use the thinking part of your brain and short the retracement. Overcome the unreasonable emotional elements at play and consider joining the trend. Recognize the emotional stress pattern and ask your thinking brain to intercede. Long versus short bias. Some traders are short traders. Others prefer to concentrate on rising stocks or long trades. Still others, like me, Some of us are short traders. Others prefer to concentrate on rising stocks or long trades. Still others, like me, prefer to go with the flow for every differing day. Regardless of the category you fit into, your job is to seek the emotional happy place where your comfort zone resides. Many traders have trouble switching from one to the other. If the market is having a red day, they might search in vain for winners. The same goes for short sellers on a day when stocks are on the way up. The key is to stick with what you know or are most comfortable with. If the overall market is having a rough day and your bias is to the long side, it might be a good idea to simply take the day off.
Okay. Okay, well, here's where I quit that, and I don't know where I got out, somewhere in here. Look at how volatile that got. Because the trend is broken, predicting these was tougher than it was when the trend was still alive. This might have been a good opportunity, but I still would be concerned about it, so I'm glad I'm not in it. That's all for now. Gonna walk the dogs.